What's up everyone, Brandon here from Bloody Breakdown, and as a horror movie channel on YouTube, I guess it goes without saying, even without reading the title, what I'm going to be talking about today, considering I've already discussed the announcement of the Blumhouse Halloween sequel. That really only leaves one more thing to talk about, and that is Orion's remake of Child's Play. So I did last night, Friday night, go and check out the new Child's Play movie, and I'll say this is a spoiler-free review, as the title says, so I'm gonna be, trying to obviously give you how I felt about the film, give you my opinion on it, without saying too much, because I know it's still opening weekend. The movie just came out Thursday at midnight, so, I always feel like, I'd like for people to be able to come here and hear my opinion on things, leave comments in the comment section, and just have a discussion about things without having something ruined for them. So that's what we're gonna do here. And I'll start off by saying this is very different from the old Child's Play universe, the original series. I think we all knew that going in, that this was going to be different, but when you actually sit down and start viewing the film from beginning to end, and I'd say more so as the movie goes on, you really realize this isn't Child's Play. At least what you've come to know and perhaps even love. It's very different. Jarringly so, and in some aspects. With there being no Charles Lee Ray in this new universe, with this doll being the result of AI gone, crazy. With that being said, I feel like this movie loses, or maybe to be more specific, I feel like the character of Chucky loses a lot of its character. I feel like it's a bit devoid of any kind of traits. There's still, this movie does try to pepper in a little comedy. It's got some pretty interesting characters in it. I do think that Mark Hamill did a fine job with what he was given, because what he is given is basically a soulless, and in this circumstance, pun intended, I guess, a soulless, robot. And, does that take away from it? For me, a little bit, but this movie, as I watched it and as I finished, it kind of reminds me of Halloween 3. And I'll get back to that point in just a second. Because when I watched this movie, I kind of feel like somebody wrote a killer doll film to fit into the modern tech age. And I think MGM, Orion, got a hold of this script and said, hey, we own the rights to the Child's Play, or at least the first film. We're gonna release this as a reboot to the franchise. Now, I could be totally wrong, and I've Googled this, there's no information on it that I can find. But that's just my personal feeling about how I think this movie came to fruition. It's different. But the reason I say it's like Halloween 3 is because of what I just said. I think it ties in with that. If it wasn't called Child's Play, if it wasn't a Chucky film, I'd say it was a good killer doll movie, bringing into the tech. And speaking of the tech, they do have to rely on the tech in this movie. They do have to be more specific, I'd say Chucky has to rely on the tech in this movie, because without being inhabited by the spirit of a very violent person, it makes him a bit vulnerable, and I don't think it makes him quite as intimidating. So they do kind of rely on him being able to control all the different gadgets around him to his advantage. I think, the actor who played Andy did a fine job. I think Aubrey Plaza did a fine job. There's really no acting in this film that I could look at and go, oh, that was really a poor performance, just my opinion. I think everyone did at least decently well enough. Everything was passable from that standpoint. The music was okay. There were some elements from the original series, some new stuff peppered in. The attempts at humor in this film, sometimes it misses, sometimes it lands fine. Nothing, in my opinion, that's really a gut buster or anything like that, but there's some pretty comical moments in it. But it doesn't go over the top with comedy, in my opinion. You know, he's got an E.T. finger in this movie, which apparently whenever he does, you know, show off his little glowing E.T. finger, it's him controlling other gadgets and things like that. So I thought that was a little off-putting. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't love it. I'll be honest with you. I'm struggling with just coming out and saying that I don't like the film. It's not awful, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not even 100% sure if it's as bad as Seed of Chucky. I still think, I still maintain I think it is, it's not the worst in the franchise. In my opinion, it's worth a watch. And, you know, don't take my opinion for, you know, gospel or what have you. There are a lot of people out there saying that they really enjoyed this movie. And once again, I want to reiterate, I don't hate it, but I do find it difficult to enjoy at certain parts. You really, really, really have to go into this movie with a clean slate. Don't really expect what you've seen from Child's Play to be in this movie. It's very different. And, you know, I think maybe to a new generation of fans, they may find this interesting. It may be geared more towards something that would pique their interest as opposed to the 1988 Child's Play. So, you know, I hope it finds its audience. I hope that young horror fans enjoy it. Me personally, I'm gonna say that it's decent to meh. I did expect more, to be honest with you, with Mark Hamill in the role, and like I said, I think, you know, take nothing away from him, the guy's a great voice actor. I think he probably did the best job with what he had to work with. So yeah, it's not garbage, but it's really not exactly what I was hoping it would be either. There's already talk about sequels and things of that nature. I don't know. I guess we'll see how it goes, and maybe, you know, depending on how much money this movie makes, depending on what kind of ideas, I guess they can bounce around. But I'm still looking forward to seeing where the franchise goes from here. Still definitely looking forward to the TV series on Sci-Fi next year, over with the original series and Don Mancini and his core group of people. So, you know, the franchise is still alive and well. I think this was an interesting attempt. I think it's an interesting addition to the franchise. Not one of my favorites, but, you know, I think it'll find its place. But I'll end on a reiteration of a line I made earlier, because I really think this is the moral summed up of this video. If this wasn't called Child's Play, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. And I know that is ridiculous, and I'm admitting it. And that's why I'm calling this the Halloween 3 of the Child's Play franchise. But if I'm being totally honest with you, Halloween 3 was way better than this movie. So yeah, it's your turn, guys. I want to know what you all think. Now keep in mind, if you have seen the movie, not just this video, but let's keep the comment section spoiler free. You know, people will be fine to come in and check everything out. I try to keep it that way. I try to moderate the comments that way as well. So I don't want to delete anyone's comments, so try to keep it spoiler free as absolutely possible. Let me know what you all thought of the film. And yeah, while you're down there, why don't you go ahead, if you're new here, leave me a like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe if you're new here, ring that notification bell so hopefully you'll know whenever I go live or upload. And down below in the description section, you'll see a couple of links to follow me on social media in the Facebook group, Instagram, Twitter, and there's also a couple of links that can tell you how exactly you can support this channel and what it is we do here. Now, to tell you all about that, to shill to you, since we're being honest here, is a guy who absolutely loved the new Child's Play movie. So if that's your stance, then you'll definitely want to support him. And he works here. So if you don't like what I had to say, fuck me, right? If you enjoy my content and want to support Bloody Breakdown, here are a few ways you can do so. Become a patron of the channel at the Patreon link below. You can make a one-time or a monthly contribution. Simply select a tier of $1, $5, or $10 and unlock the perks that come with your tier of choice.
perks range from early access of videos to your name in the credits listed as a producer. Check out our Amazon wish list with tech items that could go a long way in improving the overall quality of the channel and the podcast. Install Honey. Honey is a free web browser extension that automatically finds and applies coupon codes at checkout for over 30,000 shopping sites, saving you money and coupon searching time. It only takes 2 clicks to install, and using my link in the description section below helps to support Bloody Breakdown.
So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, sound off in the comments section, follow a friend, like, share, and support, and all that jazz. I am Bren from Bloody Breakdown. Please don't be too brutal over my opinion. Keep it spoiler free, and we'll catch you next time.